I'm John Bird with music and stories for Thanksgiving. It's Giving Thanks, a celebration of fall, food, and gratitude from American Public Media.
Thanksgiving Day at 2 here on IPR.
And the last voice that you heard right there was that of Brian Eckstein, a dear friend and colleague who suddenly passed away last evening at age 40. And as this is Thanksgiving week, we certainly give thanks for Brian's life and his love and kindness that he showed, his professionalism here at the station. We here at the IPR family are still shocked and stunned. Brian was our production manager, and you've no doubt heard his voice for years and years here on IPR, and we have gathered together as an IPR family here in the control room this morning. And believe me, friends, it's the circumstances we would want to have, certainly, we want those to be different, but it's good to be with you all this morning. And General Manager Marcus Jackman is here, and Stephen Turpin joins us. Stephen, of course, is the senior member of this staff, and you knew Brian as a student, I believe.
Brian was still at Yorktown High School when he started coming into the station. And I wondered, who is this red-haired kid 2 studios away, and what is he doing? And he quickly proved he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And was a fixture ever since. He, just as you spoke about, as Marcus said this morning, just an incredibly kind, gentle spirit that we will all miss very much.
Yes, and even in our stunned state right now, the loss certainly is being felt. Stephen, you mentioned earlier this morning that he would duck in now and again and compliment you.
Yeah, something I always appreciated so much and loved that Brian did was he was enthusiastic about the music, and if he heard something he liked, he'd stick his head in the door and say, "Thank you for playing that." Or I would tell him, "I'm going to play one of the pieces that I know he really loved." And I just would issue an Alfred Reed alert or something and go to his office and say, "I'm going to be playing something by Alfred Reed," which I will this morning, in fact. And he always said, "Thank you, I'll be sure to listen to that." So the kind of instant feedback and camaraderie that he exemplified is truly going to be missed.
Oh, indeed so, indeed so. Well, thank you. We know that you need to get ready for the Morning Music Hall program, but you changed in order to accommodate some of Brian's favorite pieces.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it this morning.
Thanks.
Sorry about the circumstances.
Indeed. Thanks for sitting in. Marcus?
If I can just say I publicly, I really appreciate the professionalism of the entire staff on a very, very difficult, a surprising day. But for Stan, you being here, even though I called you last night to tell you the news, for Stephen, it's even kind of more emotionally demanding for you to be open and transparent about how you're feeling, because you're programming music, which is so very, very personal, and to redo that for today. I really appreciate and respect that from you gentlemen, from our other staff, Stephanie, who was very close friends with Brian, even just for the few years she's been here, Emily, Rick, Allison, Tanner, Jan. I really respect our team here. We know that Brian would not forgive us if we tried to stop making good radio, and it's probably not going to be great radio, but it'll be honest radio as we just spend some time remembering things about our ex-man.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie.
I've been trying to figure out what to say, and it's really difficult. We always have this inside joke at the station: if you don't know what to say during pledge drive, say the phone number. It's been going through my head all morning. I'm sure that everybody out there knew Brian was a fantastic guy, and one of my favorite things about Brian is his laughter and his smile, which you could hear through the radio whenever we were having a good day, and we would make him laugh right before he had to go on during performance today or during the Saturday morning. That was one of my favorite parts, turning on the radio and thinking, Brian just said something really funny and now he can't control it. So we're going to miss you, Brian.
Yeah, we are. Brian, there's a lot of inside jokes that now they'll need to find new counterparts, or we'll have to explain them Yeah.
Yes, and here is, even though she's younger than I am, we kind of consider her mom here on the staff. Emily Kowalski, who I have known for years, Emily Chaito to begin with, of course, and Emily's our office manager right here. You don't hear her on the air very often, but you have a few things to say about Brian.
No, you're right, and now I have the phone number running through my head. I just wrote a little thing that kind of hopefully will let you know my relationship with Brian. We were colleagues as well as friends. We like to do a lot of the same things. He was kind of my everything friend. You magnified my happiness and made me laugh when I was sad. You helped to heal my injured heart, made life seem not so bad. You've been such a pleasure in my life, a true and trusted friend. You changed my life in so many ways. I'll miss you. Thanks.
Quite profound, and yeah, what we're all feeling. Thank you for putting that into words, Emily. Yeah. Jan Miller from our sales staff is here.
Getting to be, actually, it's funny to think one of the senior members of the staff here. My memory of Brian, when I first started at the station, day 3, I was on the air pitching for dollars during the pledge drive. And Brian Eckstein is a person that sat across from me and really walked me through it. And the one thing that I really see that with Brian that we are going to miss so much is he was a mentor, not just to the students, but to the staff. All of us said, oh, don't worry, if your first time you're going to be on the pledge drive, we'll put you with Brian, and you're going to be able to make it. So we will miss that mentoring that he did when he went out and talked to folks who were doing testimonials even.
Mm-hmm. And he had a real gift for drawing people out, drawing kids. I know Mrs. Huffman's class at Burris would come in and do book speaks, and Brian, when we brought strangers into the studios, and you wanted to make the mic seem not scary because the microphone's weird, it changes things. We understand, but you put Brian there, and he made it open. He helped you make good radio.
Yeah.
He helped you sound good. That was a real gift he had to bring other people along.
Yes, and I'll miss my friend Brian. So, and I know he has some students here too that he has mentored along.
Mm-hmm. And we have Allison Sewer, who you hear on the air on the weekends, and also on a lot of promo work. Allison?
And also Tanner Deich as well.
Yes, yes, he is. Good morning.
I've been here for the past 3 years. And the bad thing about going last is you hear everybody else's stories, and so your courage goes away. Yeah, right. And he's been my mentor for 3 years.
And it's always, Brian always had a thing with the students who would go through and not correct us, but help us out on the pronunciations of, how we say our uhs or a's and all the underwriters. And
it's Pruce, not Pruis.
Exactly, exactly. And he was a fellow student at heart, it seemed like. And he was right there along with us, causing as much mischief as we could.
And one of the things that I loved about Brian was he honestly believed in the students, and it made us want to be better. And personally, it's going to affect me how I treat other people, and I'm going to try to be more like Brian. So thank you, Brian.
Exactly. He will be missed, and he was a role model for many of us.
And Chris, I'm really glad that you could come in this morning too.
Yeah, it's amazing just to think that he's gone. We look around this office and this news station, and he's everywhere. Everything that's around, he had some hand in. Brian really changed my life in a way that I never really got to tell him. We're all going to miss him a lot.
Indeed, indeed, and certainly the producer of The Scene, which is our remote music program, if you will, recording bands around the area, and that's another thing that we'll address here sometime soon. Rick Sadlier joins us.
Worked with him on, as a student on the air with us, but also coordinating the scene. So.
Yes.
Like Allison and Tanner, and also Chris Ekman, our fellow student employee, we've all had the privilege of working alongside Brian. I have had the distinct pleasure of being able to share one of his true loves beyond radio, which is music. This is a project, The Scene, that he has seen through from the beginning until the end, and will be with us in every single episode that goes on air. And it only seems right that he would give the station such a gift through music in this program and his guidance to myself and all the producers. It won't be the same without him, but the one thing he would certainly want is for every episode to go on and be dubbed into ENCO, which is a technical term that means it goes from the computers into onto the air on time. All the deadlines are met, and that's exactly what we're going to do, and that's the best way we can honor him right now.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, indeed. Well, it is now, in 1 second, now it is 9 o'clock, and we do have to move on with the rest of the day. Marcus, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
I do want to say that I liked my job. Brian loved his job. None of us could throw down with Brian in a dedication match, and not lose to him. His belief, his at personal sacrifice, the service that he gave to the audience and to us, because he was doing it for both groups. He loved serving the audience, and he loved to serve his coworkers. And he was a man of slight frame, but he had wide shoulders, and we will miss him.
Yes, without question. He stood 10 feet tall here in everything that he did. And I know that, during times like these, you would expect his closest friends to say kindnesses like this. But, these just happen to be true. Each and every one of them.
Trust him, Stan's a newsman.
Well, thank you, but a long-time friend of his as well. And as we close Morning Edition today, I'd like to leave you with a thought from, because I didn't get to say farewell to him. None of us did, and I didn't see him upon his return from vacation. So in a way, in my mind, he's still on vacation right now. He's just, it recalls the quote from James Whitcomb Riley, the Hoosier poet. He is not gone. He's just away. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned next for the Writer's Almanac, and then Stephen Turpin with Morning Musicale. You're listening to Indiana Public Radio from Ball State, WBST Muncie, WBSB Anderson, WBSW Marion, WBSJ Portland, and WBSH Hagerstown, Newcastle, and certainly online as well at indianapublicradio.org. God bless you, Brian. We miss you. It's 9:03.